Yeah, I don't think Russia or most countries where they have, let's say, a government that's been around for a long time would ever think of invading an entire country, whether that country is part of NATO or some other alliance. I think they might have aspirations to gain a little bit of ground at a time. So not the entire country, but a portion of it. And it may be what turns out to be the situation with Ukraine. And Putin, as I said, he's playing a long game, and he's probably training his daughters or anybody else to kind of continue that long game because working towards a goal gives them purpose more than achieving that goal in the sense of how your mind is thinking of the long game. But the long game is still devolving us as a species. For example, is there international laws now that say, for example, that let's say a country goes to war with another, and let's say they both use landmines, which is an effective thing. Now, is there a rule, and has this already been done? Because as far as I know, there's still operations to track down mines and remove them. Because a lot of kids years later lose, parts of their bodies to this. So, is there a law that says, and it would be an oversight from, let's say, a NATO or United Nations alliance, that whoever wins or loses or both have to go remove all the mines after a peace treaty, and that would show signs that we're learning not to make more weapons because now we have to kind of dispose of them. And that could be the same thing if there's a big war, let's say, then part of a peace treaty would be both sides have to demilitarize. Now, of course, both sides, whether you consider them the winners or the losers, would have to demilitarize. And that would show signs that we're evolving as a species, especially with other countries saying, oh, no, 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 we all suffered around the world. We're all interconnected in various ways, economically, ecologically. And, like, for example, just that Quebec makes it that some people might not be able to afford to get the COVID vaccine will have an impact on the rest of Canada, for example, right? So money matters, right? Decisions that are, let's say, not as scientific matters. Decisions of war matter, and decisions after war matter, right? So, for example, if we're supposedly a civilized species, then well, we'd already not have war. We'd already be using the metals of weapons for more useful things. I mean, Canada still doesn't get that the most important nation building projects is what I've mentioned a few times over the years. It's developing railroads uh, throughout the country in various directions, and you need metal for that. But that has cultural evolution aspects to it. And politicians and elites and capitalists don't think in that way and don't want to think in the long term in that way. And they would probably not be voted in again if they did think in that way that is beneficial to their cultures in the long term, their kids and grandkids' generation. We could say, elites, okay, you want to go to war and you're using these weapons? Then, let's say there's landmines, have your kids young kids play a part of tracking them down after. So we're not going to do that. We'd be bad parents. Well, first of all, you're already bad parents. If you engage in all these things, you should already not have kids and grandkids. But that makes you think, right, in the long term. Say, what if the losers and the winners not only have to demilitarize, but they have to go and pick up all of the nasty war related stuff, and some of your kids will get hurt. And it's mandatory. So a year of cleaning up, not a year of being a soldier is mandatory, a year of cleaning up the nonsense of your species that thinks it's God's gift to this planet, right? That thinks it has more sapience or sentience and or of many other species who don't hurt their kids and grandkids in the ways you do, or the kids and grandkids of other species that they rely on like you do. So think about that from the outside perspective.